Breaking news, Novo Nordisk's Wegovy has just made history as the first GLP-1 medication to receive FDA approval specifically for metabolic dysfunction-associated steatohepatitis, MASH, a liver condition many don't even realize affects millions. But here's where it gets controversial. This approval could shake up the existing market and spike intense debate among healthcare providers, patients, and investors alike. On August 18, 2025, the FDA officially granted accelerated approval for Wegovy, a drug widely known for its success in weight management, to be used alongside lifestyle changes like diet and exercise for adults suffering from non-cirrhotic MASH with moderate to advanced liver fibrosis. Novo Nordisk estimates that about 22 million people in the U.S. could benefit from this treatment. This decision was heavily influenced by robust Phase 3 clinical trials demonstrating that Wegovy not only improved fibrosis, which refers to scarring in the liver, but also prevented the disease from worsening. In simpler terms, patients saw healing effects without the typical progression of MASH, a significant breakthrough given how challenging this condition can be. Wegovy is now available on the market for this indication, marking it as the pioneering GLP-1 agonist approved to combat MASH. Until now, the only other FDA-approved drug specifically for MASH has been Madrigal Pharmaceuticals Rezdiffra, which surprisingly exceeded sales expectations since its launch. This early success might signal strong demand, but also sets the stage for a competitive race in the MASH treatment market. Here's the part most people miss. Wall Street initially approached the potential of MASH drugs with a great deal of skepticism. This hesitation stems from the nature of the disease itself. MASH is characterized by fat buildup in the liver, often undetected for years because it requires an invasive biopsy for definite diagnosis. Moreover, symptoms can sometimes be managed through lifestyle modifications, which complicates predicting the commercial viability of pharmaceutical solutions. Despite these concerns, Rezdiffra has consistently outperformed investor expectations, generating $180 million in net sales in 2024 and an impressive $350 million in the first half of 2025 alone. These figures sent Madrigal stock soaring to record heights, prompting analysts to adjust their forecasts upwards, with some projecting Rezdiffra could exceed $1 billion in annual sales as soon as next year. Now, however, Madrigal faces a formidable rival in Wegovy, already a multi-billion-dollar product due to its popularity in obesity treatment. Wegovy's impact on MASH could disrupt the established market dynamics significantly. Analysts speculate that GLP-1 drugs, known not only for weight loss, but also for cardiovascular benefits and other metabolic improvements, might redefine how MASH is managed. In fact, Madrigal shares took a hit after Wegovy's FDA nod was announced, reflecting investor anxiety about potential shifts in demand. Breaking down the landscape further, Leerink Partners analyst Thomas Smith shared insightful observations. He predicted that some healthcare providers and patients might opt for Wegovy to treat MASH when it's linked to underlying metabolic disorders. However, he also pointed out substantial subgroups that might not switch to Wegovy. Notably, many MASH patients are already using GLP-1 drugs or are relatively lean, meaning the new indication won't impact them as much. Additionally, there's growing interest in competitors like Eli Lilly's Zepbound for obesity and Mounjaro for diabetes, suggesting that Wegovy won't automatically dominate this segment just because of its expanded approval. Smith expects that Rezdiffra's use will remain strong despite Wegovy's entry, but the market will be watching closely whether insurers start requiring patients to try Wegovy first, or if clinical guidelines shift in response to the new availability. This could create a ripple effect across treatment recommendations and patient access. Ultimately, the FDA's willingness to grant accelerated approval to Wegovy for MASH, using a label that closely reflects its clinical trial data, sends a powerful signal. It paves the way for others. This development could ignite a broader push for new treatments addressing this complex and underdiagnosed liver disease. Now, here's a key question for you. With multiple drugs vying to the MASH market and overlapping benefits related to obesity and metabolic health, which treatment approach do you believe will ultimately provide the most benefit to patients? Should we prioritize drugs with proven fibrosis improvements or focus on those with broader metabolic effects? Feel free to share your thoughts, because this debate is far from settled and your perspective matters.